Hello everyone at home, welcome to the platform on Afrikedge TV, which we situated in Osun State. And today on the program, I will be discussing domestic violence. What is domestic violence? What domestic violence is all about, the causes, and what we can do to stop this so-called domestic violence. I am Obashola Olanrewaju, and people call me Omidan Show. And today I'll not be doing it alone. I have my guests to my right and my left. Here I have Mrs. Timmy Johnson to my left. Say hi to the viewers at home. Hi. And Mr. Afolabi to my left here.
Viewers at home, we welcome you to the program. It's my pleasure being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, and you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, Mrs. Timmy Johnson, direct to you, what do you think is domestic violence? I mean, the meaning of domestic violence, what domestic violence really is.
Domestic violence is any kind of behavior that a person uses to threaten or control an intimate partner.
Intimate partner, you mean only maybe wife, your spouse, or your husband alone, not involving your kids or that? Nobody except your wife and your kid alone. I mean, your wife and your husband alone.
Any behavior that a person uses that has to do with threats.
Okay.
It can either be your spouse, it can be your child, it can even be your house help.
Okay.
That's domestic violence.
Oh, thank you so much. And Mr. Afolabi, please, can you share more light on what domestic violence is all about?
Once again, I welcome every one of us to this program. What actually happened when we talk of domestic violence, we need to look at it in another way around, because as the name implies, you said domestic. Yeah. That means that act is being occur within the place of residence.
Yeah, within the house.
Yeah, within the house. Now, that may be between the two partners that are in love, or people of different emotion, that they are just living in the same,
that they are
under one roof. That action, when you now use anything to intimidate your partner, it may be your neighbor, it may be your wife, it may be your husband, your kids, it may be from father to child. When you now use anything to intimidate, without their own seeking their own consent, you now use the weapon,
the power you have from them.
Yes, the power you have to just intimidate them. That is what we call the domestic violence.
Like you're saying it as if it's misuse of power on another person living together. Like when you are living together, misuse of power on them.
Not misuse of power. But using that power to intimidate. You know, there's even between using you misuse power. You have power on someone that maybe as a father you have right to send your child to on an errand. You now said, okay, son, go and get this thing for me. You now said, Daddy, I'm busy doing something. I will be right back. I will come to you to deliver your message. Instead of you to wait for that son or for that child to look, maybe something is you now said, am I your father? Am I not your father? I'm supposed to call you once and answer me twice.
You are imposing on that person.
Yes, you know, in that process, what you are doing is you are intimidate that child.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afolabi. And can I say, what are those things that can cause domestic violence? Like, what are those behaviors that can bring about domestic violence?
A lot of things we can trace to be the causes of domestic violence. But let me come up with this one. Talking of jealousy.
Jealousy.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're jealous of your spouse.
Yes. When you have a spirit of jealousy in you. For instance, now, maybe as a husband, this is common among the men. Let me use this example. Sorry, the men that are watching us at home. No, I need to expose our character, our behavior. Yeah. You know, for instance, now you see a woman that is more exert than the husband,
which is financially buoyant.
Financially buoyant. It may not be financially. even owning of the property. You know that, okay, this particular your partner
when
is,
the woman has a lot of property.
yes, a lot of property more than you. You now look at it, look at her that, oh, if I allow this woman to be going this way, there's probability for her not to obey
your commandment.
Yes.
And you know, some men marry their wife because of their property. When you see that you come from a very wealthy family, and they will be like, wow, if I marry this kind of person, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. You know, so there are some men like that, and when they marry
that of opinion is not general.
It's not general.
Yes, because you discover that there are some men that they will tell you that, okay, I can't marry a woman that have everything because of this, what we call submission. That
some woman will not submit again.
Yes, there won't be any submissive.
The
woman will not calm down for the man, because he knows that, okay, what else did I need from this man? I have everything. Why did I submit myself to him?
Okay.
All these things, and the man will now look at himself that, okay, is it because I don't have this that make this woman to be reacting in this way? This attitude may cause the man to be jealous that, okay, I know it's because we have this and this and that, and will resort to violence.
Oh, thank you so much. And Mrs. Demi Johnson, what other things do you think it causes that domestic violence, apart from jealousy? You know, when you're jealous of your husband, when you're jealous of your kids, even it might be you ask her, maybe your friends came visiting or anything, they just see you ask, oh wow, I love this girl, I love the way she do, I love this guy, I love the way he do, or they just want to do one or two things we used to have been asking from them, and they wish to do it for that your house help, and you'll be like, wow, so I am here as your boss, I could not attain this thing, I could not take this thing, I could not name my hands on these things, but you as my house help, you're doing this, you're doing. What other things do you think it can cause, apart from jealousy? What other things do you think it can cause domestic violence?
Other factors that could cause domestic violence, I would like to talk on economic hardship too. Can cause domestic violence. Maybe in the sense that maybe when the husband, when there's no job, maybe he has been even looking for job, and there's no availability of getting any job soon. And you know, there are some things he needed to be doing as a man at home, and he's not been able to do them. You know, the kind of hardship in the house. Maybe he wanted to get some things for the wife or the children, and is unable to. The
thought of not getting it
for them, it gets them mad. There could be economic hardship. Everywhere can be tight due to maybe unavailability of job for the man or for the wife. So this can cause them to be like, and
let's look at this present situation in Nigeria.
What is even happening now? Yes, exactly. We have our money. We have our money in the bank, but we couldn't even collect them. We couldn't even withdraw money.
Okay.
So you know, so many things can cause it. Drug addiction too.
When someone is on drugs,
yes,
so you lose your memory of what you're doing. You cannot get yourself
and when the person is just high like this, you won't even know what he's doing again. You know, it causes domestic violence too.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Demi Johnson. And to you again, I want to ask this question: what are those forms of like? In what way can you involve yourself in domestic violence? Like, in what way can you impose that domestic violence on another person?
And we have if you are talking about forms of domestic violence, at least the one I would like to talk about is the physical abuse.
How can someone be abused physically?
Physical abuse could be in form of beating, eating, you know, eating each other, beating each other, and all that. That is physical abuse. Yes, if you want to talk about maybe sexual abuse, we have sexual abuse too. Sexual abuse has to do with this kind of forcing yourself on one another, raping.
Can't we classify that sexual abuse under physical abuse as well? You know?
No, they are two different things.
Okay.
Physical abuse has to do with beating, eating each other.
But that sexual abuse also is about the body as well. It's physical.
This is talking about raping, or maybe this has to do with maybe you force yourself on the person. This has to do with raping, though the victim can be injured as well. but it has to do with you forcing yourself
on that person.
That is
thank you very much. Mr. Falabi, in what other way do you think domestic violence can be carried out apart from that physical and sexual abuse? In what other way do you think we can carry out domestic violence?
Okay, let me come up with this before I answer your question.
Okay.
In the course of this discussion, Mrs. Johnson said something. She said that she talked about the economy hardship, that this one can be one of the reasons that cause for the domestic violence.
Yes.
You know, the other time I exposed women. Now let's look at this. You know, the reason why you see men behaving in that in that manner is because most of our women, they don't understand men.
Okay, in what way?
Yeah, what I mean is, you know, as a man, when you have, let's say, 100,000 naira with you,
okay,
you'll have budget it that, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But the woman, we want you to do everything for them that they need.
They want you to meet their needs.
Yes, at that point, forgetting that you have your own budget, you have plan as a man. For instance, now, out of that money, you should have budget for, okay, maybe someone that owns, let's say, one car.
There might be emergency need that will arise sometimes.
Yes,
that
you did not plan for that. You need to take out of that money to.
Yes.
I mean, as part of your own responsibility. But as far as woman knows that, okay, you have this social amount with you, or they will now base all their plans on it. You know, all these things. When the man now look at it, it brings the frustration for that man. Thank you for that word. It make that man to be frustrated. That, okay, you know that I don't have this. Why are you demanding for it from me?
And there are some men that have been frustrated from outside before they get home, thinking they would find comfort.
Yes, but on getting home, the first thing you used to attack him is
violence.
Is okay. There are, even for you to even most of the women will not say welcome there. They'll say, okay, what are we going to eat in this house? Is that should be the first thing?
No,
instead of you to welcome to welcome your husband, even to relieve him from the stress that he has been passing through during the office work, or maybe that person is telling something or
so
something.
Mr.
Now let me now go to the question you asked, that what are the forms or other forms of, you know, I would like to pick that emotion.
Emotion. How can someone be emotionally abused?
Now, thank you. You know, you are let me use the partner, the couple, as an example.
Okay.
You know, one of the things why we the reason for the marriage is for us to share our feelings together.
What you're going through,
what we are going through, so that we'll be able to, when one is weak, one should be
hold him up.
Yes, but in the situation whereby you have something bothering you,
okay,
you don't have the person that you should share it with. Even the person is still make himself available, but he or she they didn't respond to you. You now look at it that, what is this?
Isolated. You feel rejected.
You will not feeling fine, because instead of you to be okay, for instance, now as a woman you are trying to interact with your husband, that you know
he's not giving you attention.
He's just looking at you, reading newspaper or watching TV and the likes. That sport is the most common one among women. Yes. Because we devoted much of our time. You know, you imagine. For instance,
we are discussing a very important issue with him. Oh my dear, I have to do this. I need
advice on this. Instead of the man to react,
his all attention.
The man will say, "Oh, hey, see, look at this one. See how he plays this. No, he's supposed to play it like that." And the woman is saying, "Honey." You know, that woman will feel emotionally abused, and the moment you don't have, you have that kind of scenario, you have already engaged in what we call the domestic violence, part of the violence.
Thank you so much, Mr. Falabi. Mrs. Timmy Johnson, let me ask you this question. Can someone be abused psychologically?
Psychologically?
Yeah, can someone be abused?
Yes.
I'm still coming to you, Mr. Falabi. You asked the questions for me as well.
I think somebody can be abused psychologically.
Okay.
Maybe when a kind of
intimidated, or
a kind of maybe when you jilted somebody.
Okay.
Maybe in a relationship when maybe you gave somebody breakfast. Let me say that's
the common word.
That's the common thing you're using now. Maybe you jilted the person.
Street language. That one is
yes, that's maybe they don't give her breakfast. The lady.
The common language among the youth.
The lady will be psychologically abused.
You know, it might not be the only lady that is being jilted.
Yes, it could be men.
Guys can be jilted too.
Yes, that's exactly.
Because I watched a video this afternoon. I watched a video today. The woman was outside sending money home for the guy to build house for them, to make a good living for them before she returned back home, where she has been working out outside.
Okay.
And when she come back, she met the man. He has got married to another woman. The guy is not picking her call again. She just tracked the guy's number to know where exactly he was. Just a surprise visit, and he show up on the door. Like, he just show up like, wow, so you are here and I've been looking for you. Why do you do this to me? Who is this? Is this our house help or what? You know, that's kind of thing. Sometimes the lady will be so depressed and it will so affected.
So annoying.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much. I'm glad to have you here on the program. But Mr. Falabi, our time is fast spent. Let's talk about what the solution could be for those people that are being abused. For those that are being abused, what the solution can be. What are the solutions you can talk about?
Okay, thank you for that question.
Okay.
You know, when you discover that something unpalatable is happening in your domain, let me put it that way, maybe in your home, the first thing you need to do is that you have to speak out.
You tell other people around you.
But in that course of telling people, you need to mind who you approach,
who you speak to,
so that they will not mislead you.
Your enemy might appear as your friend.
Yes, even the person that wanted you to be out of that house will be the one to give you wrong advice. If you want to speak out, I will advise that you try to get a trained counselor. So that when you discuss such issue, and I mean the issue with him or her, they will be able to guide you, mentor you, that this is where you should go, do it this way, and after everything you will discover that everything will be getting better and going smoothly. And
what if you could not get a counselor around you, maybe your pastor, your friend, your mom, your dad, your relative? Can you talk to them, or counselor straight away? All those you've mentioned, they are part of people in which someone can
trust.
You can trust. But one thing is that, you know, for instance, now you want to confide in your parents. You are trying to report your husband to your parents. As a mother, the emotion will be there. That why will a man beating my daughter like this? Okay, all what you need is you have to leave that place, leave everything. But when you get a trained counselor, someone that's having all what it takes to guide you, it will not advise you wrongly. There won't be something personal in the advice. But when you approach your brother, your sister, your parents, in the course of the advising, you will see traces of something personal. That because I'm the one that giving birth to her, I can't allow a man to just kill her for me.
Thank you very
all
much.
These things. But the normal thing for you is to just approach a well-trained and qualified counselor.
Mrs. Timmy Johnson, I have this question for you. And can it be like, can man also be abused? Like, Can they be abused physically or sexually? Or in another form, can they be abused as well?
Yes.
Not only ladies.
Yes,
only.
exactly. Men can be abused.
Okay.
Men can be abused. There are scenarios of women beating their husbands. There are scenarios of ladies raping a man. Those things, they are happening, and you know, domestic, psychologically, men can be abused. They can be jilted too.
Yeah. Can be jilted too.
They can be abused.
And thank you so much.
Before you ask the next question or whatever, you know, let me just add to what
she just said.
You know, when you talk of abuse or the violence or domestic violence, this is not meant for the women alone. Even men also do. They do face what we call the domestic violence. In a situation whereby you get married to a woman that have the high temperament, or any moment you talk about something that you expect that okay, she should take with the art of joy, and she now change it that okay, why are you talking to me in that manner? And the next thing you will see is that the woman will lock that man. Is that not abusing?
She can even see car keys.
Yes, even you see your husband going out for work, where he will get money for the family. You now said, okay, you won't go because you offend me. You now hold the car key.
Some people even might lock the house, the whole house.
Yes,
you are not going out.
Okay, I will not allow you to go out. None of us will go out. Let's stay indoor. They will now start all sorts of violence, and that is where you see that you hear that okay, a man kills his wife. When you read all our daily newspaper, you see a lot of things happening, all in the name of impatience with one another.
That word impatience. And again, I want to ask this question. You know, there are in some situations when you love your spouse very, very much, or in the course of being labored, like the woman is being labored, and the child, before the child could come out, the woman is dead. And you know, some men do transfer that aggression of losing their loved one to that child. And there are some women like that, when the man did not do well to them when they are pregnant of that baby, and maybe later they get separated, they will transfer the aggression on that child. Like, what can you say about that?
All right, in that situation, you know, when you like you explain it, the woman want to give birth, and during the birth, the woman gave up.
Yes.
And the man has said, okay, simply because during the course of birth,
you make me lose my wife.
You make me lose my wife, the one I cherish, the one I love. Now I said, okay, I will not take it easy with this child. Because of this, instead of you to be, doing what we call the paternal care, you know, say, okay, because you are the one who kills my wife. No.
You believe that the child killed their wife.
That is not the normal things to do, because the child is just a victim of circumstance, not him or her that caused the death. I pray that we won't see any things like that. How we will not experience such, because it is not easy
to lose a loved one.
Even that process. Oh, it's painful. But all what we need to do is that just look at it that okay,
just transfer that love that you have for the mother. It
is what God's want for you. When you believe in God that okay, this is being done by God, you move on with your life. And instead of you doing otherwise on having hatred, thank you, for that child, why can't you transfer the love you have for the mother to that child, so that even the mother where she is, she will be happy with you that okay, oh, see how this man is taking care of my child. Let me tell you something. Women can joke with anything.
Their child is a very essential one. Thank you so much, Mr. Falabi. And Mrs. Temi Johnson, to round it up on, what do you think the solution can be for those people that have been abused? The advice you have for them? Just see your advice for them.
Just like what Mr. Falabi said earlier, he said an abused person should go to somebody he or she thinks he can trust.
Someone you can confide in.
Counselor or someone you can confide in. Then I will say that, okay, even if you don't want to leave the marriage, make sure
you wish to stay because of your child.
Yes, exactly. Even if you want to stay in that marriage, maybe because of your kids, just make sure that you have created a plan. That is escape a plan. Yes, escape route.
Okay.
As a plan for safety. Maybe, for instance, maybe hiding the car key so that if there's anything, maybe he has gone to carry
maybe
knife.
you can just again.
If he has just started boiling like this, you know that something wants to happen. Just take your car key and just run out of the house.
What if there is no car key? Maybe they're just living a low life.
And at least just get a means of
escaping.
Yes, means of escaping.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you our viewers at home. Mr. Falabis, do you have any advice for our people viewing at home, our viewers at home? Do you have any advice for them on that domestic violence?
My advice for those who are involved in what we call domestic violence.
Okay.
You know, what you need is to look at that thing that, okay, what is that thing that caused this?
Okay.
And you try to have the round table meeting, even with your spouse. Yes, heart to heart talk. That okay, why is it that we are fighting? Why is this thing happening? What is the cause?
Okay.
You call yourself together, then you settle everything amicably. Then you now forget what has transpired in the past. Okay. Because many people involved in what we call the domestic violence because of what they have experienced in the past.
Yeah, I remember a situation like that. There was a guy when he said he watched his father, he watched his mother beat his father till death. So from there, if he has any girlfriend, when the girlfriend is talking about getting married, that was when he would withdraw. No matter how much he loves that person, he's going to withdraw. He did not want to.
That is why I said such persons should work on his or her past. Don't dwell in your past. Think of the present and plan ahead for the future. That's the result.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Temi Johnson, advise our people and say goodbye to them.
My advice for viewers at home is that when you are passing through any kinds of domestic violence, just don't keep quiet.
Okay.
Don't keep mute. Please talk to people. Have confidence and believe that there is help for you.
From anywhere.
You are not alone.
Just cry out.
You are not alone.
Okay.
In as much as you are able to speak out, you will surely find help. Thank you very much for joining us once again. And my name once again is Temiloluwa Johnson.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today, Mrs. Temiloluwa Johnson. I'm glad to have you here. Mrs. Stafalabi, say goodbye.
It's my pleasure being here. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, and here will be the end of today's show on the platform. Today we discussed domestic violence, and I'm sure you've gained one or two things on the program today. Make sure you speak out if you are involved, and if you are not involved, if you have someone around you that is involved in domestic violence, please don't keep quiet.